Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Forlightpodcast, a weekly podcast about gaming, gaming news, and all things entertainment related. I am not your host this evening, but I am joined by my two lovely hosts here.
I'm Layton.
And I'm Ethan.
And I'm above the bed.
Thank you, Aiden.
All right, so just a little bit of background. Obviously, this is different than our normal podcast. Hopefully, our voices are coming in not too echoey. But our good friend and roommate and co-host, all those things. I don't know why I went through all that. It's fine. Our co-host, David, is actually quite sick right now, like kind of where I was a couple weeks ago. So he's kind of out for the count today.
The commission. So as you may know, if you're true four-lighters, I don't want to call you guys that. Please ignore that. No. But if you guys have been following, or if you know us, you know that Ethan and David are roommates, and their room is the room we use for podcasting and streaming. We set up all of our stuff there. But David's out of commission, and we really want him to get sleep so he can feel better.
Right. He's also very light sensitive right now, so it wasn't really the play.
Yeah.
For tonight.
Yeah. So we kind of left him to his own devices, i.e. sleeping for another 6 hours.
It also worked out that we've been playing a couple games. We're going to have a Hollow Knight review coming out, I think, over break. So in a couple weeks.
I believe so.
But this is going to be our Hades review. Me and Layton have been working on this game. Layton is much better at it than I am, but I still have put in quite a lot of time.
Then again, I am kind of a strange one when it comes to video games.
That's true.
As you guys have found.
Yeah, you did stay up until like probably 4 or 5 to play this game, so, and not on the fact that we needed a review just because you enjoyed it so much. So
and that was after I had beaten it multiple times.
I can't.
Literally second day.
We'll get into that.
Remind you of that.
But other intro stuff. We have Aiden above us working audio. We have a lofted bed above us. It's very janky, but it's the couch review. It plays nice. There's Aiden. But yeah, I think we can really just get into it right now. I think so. How we did our last review, our Hollow Knight review, was the first 20 minutes is kind of background on Hades and also non-spoiler stuff, kind of just giving you a background of what we thought when we played it. And
like
then,
some music stuff, gameplay stuff, and then kind of like rating it and reviewing it for you guys. If you want to go ahead and go play it,
we urge basically. I mean, depending on the game that we're playing.
Depending on the game, Doom.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the last, or I guess the second portion is our spoilers. We get into kind of the story aspects, the story beats that are important to kind of playing the game, separate of just watching it somewhere or something.
Yeah, and I would say in Hades' case, it's actually incredibly important because it gives rise to more stuff. But that's a whole other thing.
And we'll talk about that, I think, in our nerdy news section. But I think we can get right into it.
Well, I'm not talking about that one. I'm not talking about that piece. I'm talking about a separate piece. You haven't.
I honestly, you'll tell me about that in the second half. But
yeah,
we can get right into it. I think I just want to start on background. If you want to, I mean, you can take the second half, second.
We'll just kind of go on and off. We'll have conversations. So, Ethan, let's get into the story of Hades. What is Hades?
I mean, so not doing spoilers. The basis of Hades is it's a roguelike, which roguelike, just for background, is a style of game in which you are going through kind of dungeon crawler-esque. You're going through different rooms, and it kind of relies on like the permanent death of a player. So if you die, you're gone. You're gonna have to restart in most aspects, and that's true for Hades. As you can tell, it's Hades. It's a Greek mythology thing.
Hades takes the roguelike to its own approach, which has been done before. It's not a unique thing. It does runs. You have I believe there's like 5 sections in total to the game. You go through an area, then you go to the next area, then you go to the next area, blah, blah, blah. But if you die, you have to restart from the beginning. It's not like you save at any point. I mean, your progress, yes, is saved, and things do happen over the course of your deaths, like more events happen, more things trigger. People talk to you, things like that, over the course of your deaths. But in essence, if you're thinking just gameplay, just mechanics wise, you reset on every death. So even if you get to the 5th and final person, you get to the final boss, and then you die, you go right back to the beginning, and you did not finish it. You did not complete it, and you have to do it again.
And I think that's really what's interesting about this game is because a roguelike is not my style of game kind of thing. Like, I don't like redoing stuff. I like getting that story beat off the kind of the center and just kind of moving on, and maybe trying a boss like multiple different times, but not full resetting and having to go back and replay the same room over and over again.
Which I think is true for many people. It's not exactly... I mean, it is a highlight, I would say, of the game. Yeah. Because it's different.
I think, well, there is definitely a crowd that was, like, drawn to this game. And what I think is specific and, like, kind of different is it's just that Greek mythology aspect.
Yes.
Like, being able to completely change... it's not just, like, that dungeon crawler. There's so much depth to this game. Being just, like, every single thing that you can kind of interact with has some type of... feel to mythology, and it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, so I guess we should talk about the story a little bit.
I think I just turned the mic this way as I started talking, and I just realized that. Hopefully Aiden's listening. So
but yeah, so I think we should talk about the story a little bit just to get into that Greek mythology thing. Hades is obviously, well, Hades is the god of the underworld. You don't play as Hades. Hades is I think I can say that. Can I say that? Okay. Hades is your dad, pretty much. You play as Hades' son, Zagreus. And starting off, you're trying to get out. You're trying to escape from the underworld. You're trying to leave. You're bored. You're tired. Or at least Zagreus is. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to get out. He's trying to get away from his family, which is Hades, and Nyx, who is the goddess of night. And then,
so interesting with some of the aspects, because you literally can go into Greek mythology and search all of these. Like,
oh yeah, no, people. It's nuts. Like, these are like actual like in depth. What's it called? Not
players or not NPCs.
They're in depth NPCs. They're actually one of the biggest things that drew me to Hades, because I don't normally play top down roguelikes like this. Yeah. Actually, I don't ever. But one of the things that drew me towards Hades is the story and the characters. The characters are constantly interesting. They're constantly cool. Like Hypnos. Hypnos is the embodiment of sleep. He's an NPC you can talk to, and he's actually really interesting, and he's funny, and he has backstory. He's the guy who's writing stuff down when you respawn, and he's like the guy with the
right. I hated that guy.
You hated Hypnos?
I'm not even joking. He made me it's like it's probably just the difference of you playing Getting Over It. It's the aspect of having a narrator critique you as you play. It's like I just went through and just had the most, like, I don't know, like, intense fight of my life, and then I lost to some stupid, like, projectile. And then this guy's like, you suck.
He's like,
you're ass.
He's like, you died. That's crazy.
That's actually such a good voice, too, of him.
But, like, even then, like, Achilles is down there. You can talk to Achilles, and Achilles is, like, in the context of the story, he's Zagreus's, like, personal, like, trainer. Like, he taught him everything he knew, and he taught Zagreus how to do, like, combat and everything.
Right.
And how to, like, utilize all of his skills. And Achilles, actually, if you talk to him enough, which is really important, talking to characters is incredibly important in this game. It furthers not just story, but combat as well. But if you talk to Achilles enough, he'll give you his book. It's like a codex of everything that happens in the game.
Right. That was actually my most recent run. I didn't talk to a lot of characters, like, too much. Like, I didn't go back. I would just kind of run back in because I was, like, amped to do it again.
Yeah.
But I just got I was, like, wondering. It was, like, updated book. And I was like, what does this say? I can't even open it. But you probably can open it outside of.
You just press left bumper.
It would never open for me. I kept clicking left bumper, and it would not open. I don't know why.
Strange.
It was weird.
But, like, the codex gives a whole bunch of backstory. It's almost like if you're getting Destiny like codex cards. You can like go on the website and look it up. It's kind of like that. You don't need to read it, but it's there for your enjoyment. It's there for like depth and backstory to each of the characters. It's really cool. It has an in-depth thing for everyone, and it only has a specific portion of like descriptions and stuff unlocked, and you have to actually interact with the characters more to unlock more of the description. You have to talk to them, or you have to gift them. I believe Ambrosia is the friend drink that you get along the way as Zagreus throughout your combat experience, and you can gift that to friends, and they'll give you charms and stuff that'll give you boosts while you're doing the dungeons.
I think like that was one of the most. Well, that's one of like another aspect is it is a dungeon. So as we've described before, it's a dungeon crawler. So you're choosing, not necessarily actually, in most dungeon crawlers, it's not necessarily you get a choice of like what you're about to do. In the aspect of like in Hades, when you go to in the next room, it shows you a photo of what you're gonna get as a reward for beating that room. It's not gonna tell you what. Like enemies are going to be inside. It may tell you with a little skull if there's going to be a boss or something like that.
Or like a mini boss, yeah.
But it tells you the reward and the kind of incentive to go into that room. And I thought that was really interesting because that's kind of just... It goes on to the style of player you are, which goes into so many other things, specifically combat. And that's something I wanted to touch on is like, for one, I want to ask you, I think I know what weapon you chose. But we don't have to talk about the later weapons until the second part. But there's ranged weapons. There's the base weapon that you get at the very beginning, and then there's like close combat. It's completely different at ranges. I found myself more drawn to the ranged weapons than I did, at least until my later runs, where I learned that it's kind of a thing to use the beginning like sword and stuff like that. But I found myself just it pushes the style of player you are, which is so interesting and so fantastic. I think that they do.
And this is something we definitely need to talk about. Combat later is something I need to talk about because the kind of player you are, it really does push it. But later, it tries to help you expand that without being too forceful. I'll explain it when we get there. Yeah. But for now, I'll say that this sword, the basic weapon, I don't remember what it's called, but it has a name, and it's actually the name of like a sword weapon within the Greek mythology. It's really cool.
I think it's the sword of Hades.
Yeah, it is. It is his sword, but like he didn't use it fighting like the god. He didn't fight the Titans with it. I think he fought. I don't remember what he did with it. I don't know, but it's
Stygian blade.
The Stygian blade.
Stygian blade. I don't know.
Stygian blade. Yeah, it's actually like I don't know. It's really interesting. It's all funneled in Greek mythology. It's really cool.
That's really cool. We probably talk about that.
But I found my style of combat is I really like. I really enjoy the incredibly fast-paced movement combat style. Like I understand the ranged aspect where you're kind of like off to the side and you're taking your time to do stuff. I like to be in their face and getting it done like as soon as possible, as quick and as fast as possible. And the Stygian blade, the starter blade, I found was my favorite to do because that special it has is just so good with the dash attack and then the regular. It's really nice. It fit my playstyle perfectly, which is probably why I beat it so quickly compared to you guys.
Also, this is a side thing. We're not going to talk. I don't think we can mention the gods without mentioning which gods they add because they do not. Certain gods are not in this game, but it's also an aspect of there are gods that anchor towards more playstyles as well.
I think we can talk about which specific gods are in. That's fine. Like
I mean, but there are certain ones that kind of come not necessarily late game, but it's like there are certain aspects of that we'll talk about later.
No,
I guess we could probably.
It's not really spoilers. I don't think because spoilers would be like end game stuff, like real finishing stuff. Because it doesn't matter if you die and die and die again, you're gonna run into them.
Right.
You're gonna run into all of them.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think the only thing that's a house contractor thing. So yeah.
You're almost guaranteed not to finish it first try, so I feel like that's
you definitely are. It's actually it's specifically it pushes you to not win the first time, which
They probably add certain things, don't they? Like up the difficulty.
They way up the difficulty, which I believe it's beatable, but you have to be you have to be a cuckoo insane person to do it first run. Because
it's because they start adding certain things.
Even Meg's nuts. Megaria.
Yeah.
Megaria. I don't remember. I don't know how to say it.
That's spoilers,
Is
mister.
it?
Yes.
It's a mini boss.
Because some people may not even get there. That's the thing that I'm not even joking. Like,
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. If you cannot get there, you might want to put the controller down.
I would say actually maybe Megara is the first. And we'll talk about that in bosses, but Megara is kind of the first boss that you kind of have to get there. If you put down the game before you get to the first actual boss, I'm sorry, but like
you're missing out, or you have bad taste. Yeah, skill issue.
But going into like, I think we could talk about the gods a little bit. The playstyle wise, I found myself, for one, there are certain gods that are much more powerful than others. That's like key stuff there.
Oh yeah, no, like rarity of the boons you get. So, to explain real quick, while you play, you can go into a room, and one of the rewards for a room could be a boon from a god, and the boons are abilities that a god grants Zagreus to help him on his journey out of the underworld. And actually, this is a really interesting tidbit about Hermes. Is that that's a spoiler. Anyway. Boons. This is hard for me.
It is.
Everything I've seen. Most
learn.
of what I've seen are spoilers because I've finished so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the kind of guy who keeps playing Getting Over It, even though I've beaten it once. I've beaten it 11 times now, and I'm going to go for 50 because I want to 100% Getting Over It.
Oh god, Getting Over It like makes me irate. I think, quite literally.
Getting Over It. This is not a Getting Over It review, but I do want to say Bennett Foddy's philosophy. There's something there.
Yeah, and no, there's definitely something there. But do I want to sit through it? No way. There's no doubt in my mind.
Sorry, you suck. Skill issue. But yes, gods. They give you boons. Their abilities to help you help Zagreus get through, and some of them are increase attack power, increase attack speed, increase special power, blah 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 blah. And then there's interesting ones that do debuffs, like Aphrodite's is inflict weak, Dionysus's is inflict poison, pretty much. Ares is inflict doom, which is just do extra damage over time. But they are really, you learn.
Athena is the key one.
Athena is insane.
Athena is cracked.
And actually probably necessary for you to win, at least for me to win. Playing with... The more you play the game, the more you set into your play style and how you like to play. For example, me personally, I have to have Aphrodite upgrades, I have to have Athena upgrades, and I have to have Artemis's Call.
What is Artemis's Call? I don't know that off the top of my head, but we'll talk about that.
No, the fact
I probably do know.
Do you know what a god call is? Like the thing you get with Poseidon first off, and you like can press the right trigger, and it's like an ability, and you're like more powerful for a second.
There's an Artemis one?
Dude, all of them have one, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Artemis's it's an arrow that fires that does a set amount of damage and a set % of critical chance. At 5 bars of god like meter, it does 10 arrows, and it's like 250 damage if you upgrade it to 250 damage an arrow. 10 arrows is 2,500 damage plus a 35% critical chance for each one of those.
That's messed up.
That's literally how I've beaten the game 3 times, is because of Artemis's Call.
That's messed up.
Anyway, you find your playstyle, and I really like how Hades does that. How Hades kind of forces you to figure out what you like, what it is, how you like to play.
100%.
Like Aphrodite's abilities are incredibly important to me because they inflict all my enemies with weak. Because I like that really quick play style, I'm probably not going to be able to react to every bullet, and weak makes it so that your enemies can't, or they do less damage to you. Yep. And then there's upgrades to that where you might do more damage to enemies because of your weak. It's very in depth. There's a lot of things, and that's only one god, and that's not all of her stuff. And then there's duo stuff where you can pair gods with each other, like there are abilities that are specifically paired between gods. There's a lot to talk about the combat.
There's a crap ton.
There's so much to talk about the combat. There's upgrades that are later things that are actually spoilers.
Honestly, feel this might be the time kind of to give our final thoughts on just the last couple things.
Well, I want to talk about music real quick.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no,
we didn't
actually,
even talk about music.
That's true. This is gonna be hopefully not too long of an episode, but it's okay.
Oh, I fucking love Hades, dude. It's such a good game.
It's so good.
So, music about Hades. Ethan, you talk for a little bit.
I honestly, the music in this game probably set it up for why I enjoyed it so much. I think music is kind of key in most games that I play. Not necessarily if I just like enjoy the background or whatever, and that's another thing. If it didn't have fantastic music, I probably would have been okay with it, just because I love Greek mythology. But holy cow, getting into like, I think the first time you enter, oh, maybe that's a spoiler. There's a certain thing about music that I don't want to spoil because I just want people to experience it.
We need to get into the spoilers in a minute here.
Seriously, because like there are certain things about, I think music is kind of a spoiler topic because they use it in such a fantastic way.
Oh, they do.
And it's kind of like you have to experience it for the first time by yourself. But I would say just like
that second piece. Oh
how they use
so
like music in certain boss rooms, and even just like the kind of like as you're going through music, it's so, without spoiling, fantastic. It's just, it's so good. And it's like, it was to the point where like I entered one of the boss rooms and was like, holy cow, and I'm like just kind of like
bopping.
I'm in it, and it's just, oh, it's so good.
God, the fucking Elysium boss fight.
Elysium is
like teal area, like the fallen, the most prominent of the dead people area is the third area.
I didn't even make it to the third area, homie.
Bruh!
Yeah.
You're missing out on so much.
I know. I didn't. Okay. That will be when we get into... Actually, no. We can actually... Just to kind of cut this off, because I do want to get into... I think spoilers will open up this conversation so much more.
It will.
To kind of just finish this off, 100% recommend. I would say
do
as well.
Like, this... I was not expecting this out of Hades. David just told me to play it. I was like, all right, shit, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I was not...
It turned from Doom Eternal for our initial review game to Hades
immediately.
Instantly.
No,
yeah.
It literally is probably one of my top 5 games of all time because it's just so fun and replayable. It has infinite replayability, pretty much.
It's so good.
It's
and
awesome.
I would say, going on to kind of... if you're looking this game up, you're going to see a lot of stuff about difficulty. It's a difficult game. It is the aspect of restarting and stuff like that. But we both urge you as just players and being able to experience this game.
Yeah.
Try it out. If you don't get past the first boss, whatever, it's still such an experience.
Yeah.
And it's something that I feel like, honestly, every single person as a gamer should try.
I would say check it out if you can. It's on sale on Steam right now for I think like 50% off. It's like $12. I just actually purchased it. I've been playing off of David's library on my computer. Beat the game in 2 days. But I just purchased it today because I love that game so much, and I'm gonna buy a Cerberus plush. Cerberus is
so cool.
3-headed dog. It's limited edition Hades merch that they have going on right now. I'm gonna buy the Cerberus plush, I think, because
we can put that on the podcast.
That's what I'm
table.
saying. Because
Holy cow.
I fucking love that.
But yeah, I think finishing this section off before we get into spoilers, I just want to give a rating. What do you think out of your rating?
Are we doing it out of 5 or out of 10?
10.
I'm gonna say 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna agree with you on that.
Because if we're out of 5, I would have said 5 out of 5. Out of 10, I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 because it is not.
It's not perfect.
It's not. Okay. What is perfection? That's the thing.
You can't really.
You can't really have a perfect game,
and I feel
although I think Elden Ring might be the perfect game. But
there's some things.
I'll have to play it myself.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree. I mean, honestly, I kind of wanted to go off of a 5 out of 5 scale for the podcast, but I feel like 10 out of 10 kind of just, I don't know. It's where it gives us a short, because I don't know if you're going to get a 10 out of, no, there definitely is 10 out of 10s out there. Hades, there's small things that I think we can talk about spoiler wise of maybe things that they could have changed that would have been a little bit better.
I think,
and it's just nitpicking, but really,
I think it's just the scale of Hades for me.
Like how large of a game it is?
Yeah. It is very infinitely replayable, and there's a lot to it, but I think
it's designed not on your type of player, though. To be perfectly honest with you, I think it's not. It's designed to have somebody who, honestly, it's a first try kind of roguelike, who's not an anomaly like you and plays games that are like purposely trying to mess you up.
Dark Souls is one of my favorite game series.
I can't
I love getting over it.
I think both of us, to just kind of finish this off, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
You're going to see probably a professional rating.
I would honestly go for 9.25 out of 10. I like, if we're going to go into point systems, 9.5 out of 10.
I'd say 9.5 out of 10.
It's really close to a 10. It's really close. But, so yeah, that's the end of our basic review. If you don't want spoilers...
Leave now.
I think we need a big old thing here from editor.
Actually, we've been talking about it for the past like 10 minutes. Leave. Get out of here. What are you doing? Come back, please.
Yeah, don't leave. But if you don't want spoilers, leave.
And then come back to the podcast after. You got to keep that point. You got to after you play Hades, come back.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Pause the video here. And then come right back.
Yeah, keep it in a tab. It's somewhere.
Just like
we're always there with you guys.
Play the game. Get to a point where you're like, I've seen enough of this game. I want to listen to you guys some more. And then come back. Because we have some things to talk about.
Yeah. So, here. All right. Do you want to start, honestly?
Okay, yeah. So, final boss, I'm just going to whip it out, is Hades. You kill your dad, pretty much. But he doesn't die. You just kill him, and then he dies and then respawns, like you do.
He respawns.
Actually, exactly like you do. But, no, you actually kill him, so you don't have to deal with him again until the next
can
run.
Hades go up to the... I mean, he's a god, but, like, he can go up to the overworld?
A little bit of Greek lore. The whole reason Hades cannot leave the underworld, and the same thing happens to Zagreus.
He got, cursed, right?
Yeah, he got cursed by the Fates. The Fates are Nyx's daughters, also the sisters of Death.
Little
Death
bitches.
is I don't remember what his name is, but Death is your brother, or adopted brother.
Oh,
Zagreus is.
Is it Chaos or Death?
No, Death. Chaos is totally different. Chaos is, way back. Death is okay. Zagreus, his adoptive mom is Nyx. His dad is 100% Hades, but his adoptive mom is Nyx because Nyx tries to bring him back to life. Zagreus' actual mom, and the reason he's trying to get out of Hades, or trying to get out of the underworld, is because his actual mom is...
Thanatos? Is that who you
are? Thanatos, yeah, is Death. But Zagreus is trying to get out of the underworld because he wants to get to his mom, who is Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
Persephone is his mom. Persephone left the underworld. He's trying to get back there. Back to her. When he does, i.e., when you kill Hades, and by the way, he has 2 phases. I'm just going to let you know that now, before you get into it and you go, or if you're coming back, you know what I'm talking about. Hades has 2 phases. So if you think you're done with the first one, you ain't.
I remember when you opened, because we watched, he got the furthest out of all of us, obviously, or out of me. And David's been playing as well, but he just enjoys the game. He's the one who brought it to us, but not for review. I would say I put probably 11, 12 hours maybe into this game. He's put much more. Much more?
I've put a good 18 hours maybe,
okay.
But that's after I beat it. Before I beat it, it was only 7. It took me a total of 14 runs between our 2 accounts. 14 runs.
You have a ton of runs. Are you the second account? It's the one.
Well,
it's
that's
me,
because I played after too.
Second. Oh, okay.
I played after I beat it.
Yeah.
Remember that time I was like, guys, I'm about to beat Hades. You guys are all playing Overwatch. You guys are not listening to me. I'm like, guys, I'm about to beat Hades. And they're like, oh my god, no way. Blah,
that's
blah.
crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. I left. I come back 5 minutes later. No, actually 2 minutes later. I'm like, guys, I beat Hades. And David's like, no fucking way.
It was oh my god. I I think that was so crazy for me is like I wasn't expecting to see Hades have a second phase, and then you're playing, and then you see it's like you get the thing, and I think you said something like "oh shit," and I thought you would just beat him. I was like, "Holy crap! Oh my god, he beat him first try!" And I was like,
"Oh my god, dude!" So the first portion of the Hades boss fight, the music is excellent. It's a final fight music, right? It's comprehensive. It's very beautiful. And then you get to the second phase, and it just switches to death metal. It's like,
that's so funny.
It's so fucking just powerful, and you're like, oh shit, Hades is about to fight me, the real Hades. It's oh my god, and he has it. Oh, the gameplay in that game is so fucking fun, and the music is just so wonderful.
The what was it? I think, and going like we just take it off music. The Megara fight, because I only got up to the second boss.
The snake, right?
Yeah, like the thing, head thing.
The Hydra.
Yeah. I think what was so interesting about, or so fantastic about that, is that you get into at least Megara for the first time, and it's just it's almost like a switch, and the music just kicks up, and it's like, what am I playing now? And then you're just like in it, and it's exactly as I said. It was like that first time, and I'm assuming all of the other music's exactly the same.
It's very similar, where it kind of kicks into high gear when you start the boss fight. But Hades is the actual Hades fight, which is as it should be because it's the final fight. Mm-hmm. It's comprehensive. It's really really well worked, kind of like the regular boss fights for the first phase, and the second phase just goes off. Mm-hmm. It's so it's such a good feeling. It's like fighting Ishin for your second time, and it's
Sekiro.
Yeah, in Sekiro, and like I love it.
It's just such a great game, and I think some more, because I want to see. I'm probably going to ask you more questions than I am, because I didn't get to late game personally. I watched stuff like even like we can talk more into kind of combat wise, like what you're getting,
okay, so
later weapons and stuff like that.
As soon as you finish Hades, when you're done, when you beat Hades, you go, you find Persephone, you do all this fun stuff, and then you die. You just die, because Zagreus cannot live outside of the underworld. He shares his fate of his father.
That's so fucked up. You did talk to me about that a little bit before.
He cannot live outside of the underworld, so you get to talk to Persephone for a while, and then you die in front of her, and then come back, and you're like, shit. And you're like, okay, do it again. Gotta get back. Gotta win again, because you gotta talk to Persephone.
And what happens if you keep winning?
What the hell? If you keep winning, you keep getting dialogue with Persephone. You keep hearing her and talking to her and getting like information from her about the actual story.
And what does she typically say?
Well, she talks about why she left, why Zagreus. She didn't realize she had a son in the first place. She thought on birth. She says so Zagreus has his feet are on fire constantly. Like that's one of his things, because he's a demigod or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or no, he's a god, actually, because he's not a demigod, because Persephone's a god. So is Hades. So he's a god. He's not a demigod.
Persephone's
she's the goddess. She's the goddess of the harvest.
No, that's
No, Demeter is goddess of seasons. She is labeled goddess of harvest in the game, as well as in mythology. What? No. Yeah. Demeter is goddess of seasons.
A minor deity, the queen of the underworld, and goddess of the seasons and vegetation.
Called it.
It is backwards. Interesting. But anyway, in the game, Persephone's goddess of the harvest, and she's. You get out to Greece and you meet her, and then you talk to her, and she talks about how Zagreus.
Wait, who'd you say was the harvest or seasons or whatever?
Demeter.
It's because she's the daughter of Zeus and Demeter.
Yeah, she's a god. She's not a goddess. I mean. Bruh.
What?
She's a goddess. She's not a demigod. A demigod would be half human, half.
This is so confusing. Hold on.
Greek mythology can be confusing because there's a lot to it, and it's a big story. It's awesome.
You know what? This is easier. He's the Greek minor god of wine, hunting, and rebirth.
Yeah, so he's the god.
A rebirth. That's funny.
Huh? Maybe that's why they chose it. Ha ha.
I know.
Dumbass.
But what was it? And that's we can talk about that in nerdy news of the next character per se.
Yeah,
separate thing.
But to wrap up, you die, you go back, and you start trying again. For combat wise, because this is very important. Combat, you get this scroll above the entrance to where you start the game, like where you start your runs. You get a scroll, and what it does is you up the difficulty, and you don't have to, but if you up the difficulty, you get more rewards. And like, you know how when you're first going through with each weapon that you unlock, there's 6 in total, I believe, and the sword is still the best one. With each weapon you unlock, you get those upgrades, like the Titan Blood. You get the reward of the diamond.
What does the Titan Blood do?
The Titan Blood you can use to upgrade the weapons, specifically upgrade them.
Where?
On the weapons themselves. You have to beat the game.
That's fucked up. I was like, homie, I spent all this time beating Megara like friggin' 14 times, and now I have to like sit and like I don't got Titan Blood, like I don't got anything to do with this stuff. It's stupid.
I think this game is meant for players like me because you do it multiple times. You do it many times. Each time you have to up the difficulty by 1. There's a whole list of stuff you can do, and you get rewards each time you do it. Every time you up it. But that's why they'll take your playstyle and try to push you into a different playstyle. Because what they'll do is they'll make it so you don't get any more rewards if you don't up the difficulty. But you don't get any more rewards if you don't up the difficulty. But if you switch weapons, you get the base rewards and then it ups again. The more you switch, the less hard it has to be. You just have to use a different weapon the whole time.
Oh, that's cool.
I've beaten the game 3 times with the Stygian Blade. Now I have to do a 4th skull, as they are considered. And it's supposed to be like 4 times harder. Because we're not 4 times harder, but there's like increment stuff. If I were to switch to the spear, for example, it would be the baseline difficulty and with all the rewards still. That's cool.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah, so it's trying to challenge you and push you in some way the whole time, and it's awesome. I really like the style of doing it. I actually flipped all of the meters for my first run after beating it. I flipped all of the meters to maximum to make it the hardest game possible. I died in 2 minutes, like a minute. I died in a minute. It was so difficult. Like, it was actually insane.
That's funny.
Because they get invincibility counters, you get more enemies, you get enemies that are more armored. Armor is more power. It's insane. It gets nuts. Enemies would do more damage, that kind of stuff. But yeah, combat's really cool because it upgrades. And yeah, so there's that.
Can you think of like anything else spoiler wise? Like, I mean,
there's story stuff. So as you talk to each god from their boons, they'll give you like the little pop-ups that say blah, 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 right? Hermes, this is what I was going to say earlier. Hermes is the only one that knows that you've beaten the game. He's like, don't tell the others I know this, but I know you've beaten. I know you've gotten out and you've returned for some reason. But I won't say anything to the others. He's like, but I know. And he's like, I'll still help you because I really want to.
Also, isn't that's a side thing, is like, the gods don't know your true intentions kind of thing?
Yeah, but the whole thing for them is that you're family, so they're trying to help you out.
Right.
None of the gods have some complicated history with you. Like,
well, they can't hear you.
They can't hear you.
That's the whole. That's the kicker. Is like I was going through some story beats and like you get, certain, like I can't remember who exactly, but it's like people are talking to you and saying like, oh well, the gods can't actually hear you, but they like you're family to them, so don't worry about it. I think it's Nyx. It's probably Nyx.
It is probably Nyx is good.
But
Nyx is hot.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
But that's like
My
that.
bad.
I think is like the something that's like really interesting to me. Is like you get certain. He's trying to leave because he's bored initially, and then now it's his mother, and then it turns into his mother.
And then,
but like initially, it's just because he's bored, not because he wants to go see them. Like he has no true intentions.
He's
of
bored
seeing
and he
them.
wants to get out.
Yeah.
But well, yeah, which makes sense. If you're living forever, of course you're gonna get bored.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing is how each time you get to Hades, he gives you another piece of dialogue, not just Persephone.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to Hades gives you another piece of the lore, and then getting to Persephone gives you another piece of the lore. It's really cool to see how that works. And but yeah, another thing with the gods.
I wonder if you like beat him so many times, he's just like
pissed off.
You just like you like walk in and he's just I'm good, or he's like not there. That'd be so funny. If
I
you get
wish,
to like
dude.
the 15th run and he's just not there because he's like doesn't care. He's like just go, you'll be back. I don't give a shit. That kind of thing. That's hilarious.
Actually, what I did notice is that the time that Zagreus is able to stay up in the overworld decreases each time I've done the run. So if I keep winning, I wonder what happens.
Yeah. No, there's definitely more story beats as you win.
Yeah. Another thing, you can gift the boons. You can
To Persephone?
No, you can take the boons and you can gift ambrosia to them. So you can gift Aphrodite with ambrosia. You can gift Athena with ambrosia, and they'll give you a charm that makes it so that your next encounter or the next boon you find is one of theirs. Shut up. I definitely didn't do Athena's like 4 times, and then Aphrodite's like 4 times.
Yes, sir.
Aphrodite's shit is so good. Oh my
Deflect.
God.
Like the
Athena's is awesome.
Oh, Aphrodite. That's what you said.
Aphrodite's
Sorry. I thought you said Athena.
Aphrodite's weak
And
stuff is incredibly important.
Dude, Athena's deflect stuff is like you basically certain abilities tied to certain things. So Poseidon, water-esque. Athena is like shield based, obviously how you think, and so all of her certain subsets that you can add are deflects. So like you can do it on your attack. Specifically on the blade.
You can deflect projectiles or attacks with your attack. Deflect it with dodge. Deflect it with your special.
Is crazy.
Dodge
is like some of the stuff where like you get to Megara and I can just go like back and forth dodging and I don't have to do anything because her attacks are like that.
Some of the gods have a much less chance of giving you a higher rarity boon. The rarities go from common to rare to like really special and then to legendary, heroic and then legendary. Legendary is red boons. Like Hermes, you rarely if ever get a boon that's higher than common. But if you go to Chaos being another like prior god to the Titans, he's like the guy that made the world. Chaos will give you abilities that'll upgrade the next boon rarity or whatever. Like you can get stuff that does that, and then if you get a Hermes upgrade, the rare dash upgrade for Hermes, like the dash upgrade normally, the common one is +1 dash. The rare one is +3. You get 3 extra dashes.
Homie, that's
insane.
not okay.
It's insane. Like that kind of stuff. Like I think Ares, you get less upgrades
really
from.
Cool.
Yeah, Chaos is interesting. His stuff is fun too because it decreases, but I think it's really powerful. His stuff also it's rarer to get a higher rarity of his stuff as well. But yeah,
I think to be perfectly honest, I think we've covered. I mean, we've
covered
covered
most of it.
everything, but looking at time and stuff, I think we're pretty set to go into some more stuff.
Yeah, I do want to finish though. There's a lot of funny stuff in that game too. If you
the dialogue is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
between
it's
characters. It's hilarious.
Again, one of the main reasons I love the game is everything's interesting. The art style is beautiful. The music's amazing. The characters and the story is pretty good. I mean, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's
like a Greek.
It's not
story.
fantastic, but it's the characters that make up for it. 100%.
Oh, the characters, 100%. Like Hypnos is actually hilarious if you listen to him. He's fucking hilarious. Like if you listen to him, he comments on every kind of death you can have.
Yeah.
So when you died at Hades, he's like, you died to. Let's see here. You died to redacted. What the hell is that?
That's so funny.
I've never seen that before. He's like, what the hell? And then you die in the overworld. He's like, cause of death. You didn't die. What?
That's so funny.
I guess this is what humans call natural causes, or what mortals call natural causes. Oh, it's so fucking funny.
That's actually hilarious.
His dialogue stuff is hilarious. Oh my god, Just the characters are so in depth. And
honestly, I did like him.
Every time,
to be honest, I liked it.
Every time you beat Cerberus, also that area, the 4th section is the worst. I fucking hate the 4th section because the rats and the satyrs, it's all poison shit.
The rats.
Rat scum. The rats and the satyrs are horrendous. But anyway, when you don't actually fight Cerberus, you beat him by giving him a snack, a treat from the satyrs. Like, you steal a treat from the satyrs and give it to Cerberus. Every time you beat him, you know how when you beat a boss, it gives you this whole thing that says, boss defeated. Yeah. It says, Cerberus defeated, but not really, though.
I know, I've seen that. That's hilarious.
Who's the goodest boy? Cerberus. It's funny as hell. All of those, every time it's something different. And
I like the old man. Have you seen the old man interactions?
The old man interactions?
Or like, so,
which one?
If you interact with some things in the rooms, like the yellow dots, you go up and you talk.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you skip his dialogue, he gets pissed. And it's so funny because I literally would go up and started specifically doing it because he was like, it would skip and then I'd go back out to the like where it's not in like a screen anymore or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, Zagreus is like, enough of that, old man. And he goes, he says something like, I wasn't done talking through. And it's
my God.
That's so funny.
Speaking of that, all right, so another thing. There's a narrator in the game, and Zagreus is the only one who can hear the narrator. And Zagreus comments on what the narrator says, and he can hear him. And one of the things is how he finds about who his mother is, Persephone. He goes, he has a flashback of him trying to figure stuff out and snoop through his father's stuff. He goes to his desk, sees a letter, reads it. He's like, oh, okay, interesting. And the narrator goes, but on the desk is a letter written in his mother's hand, Persephone. And he's like, wait. He's like, wait, hold on. Mom? He's like, what? And then the narrator's like, "Oh, this purely coincidental of him finding this out."
He keeps like moving, and like you could like keep moving. And he's like, and then Zagreus kept walking through something, and it's like, you don't have to narrate that section, old man. And it's like, oh, it's so good.
Oh my God, I love it. If you don't stay for anything else, I would stay for just the characters. Oh my God, it's so funny. And like another one, you can turn on music in the menu lobby. Like if you upgrade it, you get Orpheus, and then you upgrade the house contractor stuff, and you get like the playlist. You can actually play songs for
that's so cool.
For diamonds. Like for a cost of diamonds, you can buy a song.
Yeah.
And some songs are more expensive. But when you play a song, Hades comments, he's like, turn that down. It's so loud. Because it is so really loud. And he's like, turn it down. And Zagreus is like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally doing all of Hades' bidding by the aspect of like fixing the underworld.
Yeah, and he's like, if you would stop destroying it and would start helping, it would go much faster.
Yeah. Oh God, it's just to end kind of our Hades review. It's fantastic. We all urge. I mean, we said it before. We urge you to just go play this game.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
It's again it's probably one of my top 5 now, and I was not expecting it. Obviously, because you don't expect to find your favorite game, but stumbling upon it because of David and then playing it and being like, oh my God, this is amazing.
100%.
It was such a good game. But I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, it's comprehensive. We talked about, did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I mean, chat might be able to let us know, but I think honestly, to kind of move us into nerdy news, we can talk about a little bit on Hades just to keep the conversation going, I guess. We watched the Game Awards. We're not going to give any spoilers because we're going to have a podcast out when we get back.
Bill Clinton,
who won and stuff. That's, oh my God, I can't even about that.
My reformed rabbi.
That's going to be an entire
Orthodox
thing.
rabbi.
Like, I'm so upset that came out. Like,
the fact that we stopped watching right before it happened.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of happy about it because it kind of would have ruined that night. Sort of like I don't like when people are able to do that. One, it puts you in it's in a sense of like Miyazaki and like, I mean, that's sort of a spoiler, I guess, but like it senses on the security.
It's pretty obvious that
they
won.
Shh, we'll talk about that. We want to keep that conversation. You know,
they won, honorable mention. Haha.
Yeah. But so just to kind of mention the Game Awards, we had some games dropped. And I'm pretty sure there was talk about these games coming out either way. Like, they were all kind of mentioned that they're going to be at the Game Awards. Some were, like, not spoken about.
Company of Heroes 3.
Company of Heroes, yeah.
For me, especially, I hated Company of Heroes 2. It sucked. Company of Heroes 1, I actually started playing it again. I fucking love that game. It's so good. Company of Heroes 3 is coming out, and I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised and very excited. Voice actor for Spike in Cowboy Bebop is in Company of Heroes.
Ooh, that makes me sick.
He's the training guy and the able company commander, I believe.
But on the
awesome.
kind of like game things, Hades 2, we are definitely going to be playing that game.
Oh, I cannot wait. That's gonna be so fun.
And that's off of our Hades review, just the aspect of it. It was so weird that we chose this game as review, and we started playing this game again, and then and I didn't see anything whether or not it was going to be at Game Awards, but it was just a weird coincidence.
Yeah, it's crazy that we started playing it. It's now one of my favorite games, and then we moved to the Game Awards, and Hades 2 is announced.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
I love it, man. That game, sometimes things just happen like that. I cannot wait for Hades 2. I just bought Rogue One as well. Or not Rogue One.
Fallen Order.
I just bought Fallen Order for $7 on Steam as the deluxe edition.
I paid $60 for that game.
I knew it was going on sale at some point, bro. I love Steam.
But another thing, Jedi Survivor got its second trailer.
It's probably why it went on sale, because Jedi Survivor's coming out.
Yeah. But holy crap, am I excited for that game. Kind of to key off a couple more because we don't have too much time left. Armored Core got dropped. Oh, you don't know about that game, I don't think. It's from Software. It's a mech game where
I did see something about cinders and fire and flame.
Yeah, that's Armored Core. And it's
but that's also Dark Souls, so like that doesn't say shit.
But it's Armored Core. It's from Software, and it's the
fact that they're already announcing Armored Core after finishing Elden Ring, that whole project.
Oh, they have a DLC and another thing. This Coliseum PvP just got added.
They also made it so that it's multiplayer story, right?
I
think David sent me an update for it.
You have to when you can actually run Elden Ring. We could.
I'm bored. I'm broke,
honestly,
dude.
me and Aiden I have to go back in Elden Ring because the Coliseum thing. He has been playing, but me and him have to do some Coliseum stuff because that PvP is going to be so much fun.
I have a PvP build right now because I decided to build Dex Faith.
That's going to be so broken, and you're going to hear so much screaming.
Nerds.
If Overwatch is bad, dude, he kills me with some broken-ass weapon, I'm going to kill him. It's over.
But,
You want to know what weapon I'm using right now?
What?
Bolt of Grand Sex.
I don't know what that is.
It's the one.
What now?
Bolt of Grand Sex. It's the one where you basically float off the ground and just lightning strikes your spear and just.
So just Sekiro. I love it.
Honestly,
I love lightning builds. Lightning is my favorite.
That's what I currently have.
I love it.
Oh my god! In our chat we have I'm not sure how to say Neopharmophile. Is that
Neopharmophile? Yeah.
Yeah. The comment, just every game I have ever purchased or I have purchased gets put on Game Pass somehow. I feel that so much. Sea of Thieves, Jedi, like Forza.
Get out of here.
What did he say?
I'm on this podcast now.
No, you aren't. Get out of here.
It's news. It's over.
Oh my god.
You're in
I
my
think
room under my bed.
This is true.
It's a blessing and a curse at the same time because I have Game Pass and it's like, oh, it's fun that and now I don't buy games for full price. I wait until they typically get put on Game Pass.
So do I. $7. Fallen Order.
Fallen Order's on Game Pass, you stupid.
Okay, well, guess what? My Game Pass has like pretty much expired, so I don't hear it.
That's an L for
I don't
you.
want to spend $15 a month for games I'm not even going to play. It doesn't work for me. My computer does not have enough power to run that very well. Like, the games I play are Steam games. Like, I just re-downloaded Counter-Strike.
You just re-downloaded?
No, God, please.
CSGO?
Yes.
That's an L. Who plays CSGO in fucking 2022, dude?
Yeah, actually, I want to re-download Gmod and start playing it again. Just kidding.
Just to kick out our last couple stuff, because we are getting close. Choo Choo Charles released. I don't know if you've seen that game. It's
I saw Mark play it. Yeah. I didn't see it. I glazed over because you said Choo Choo Charles. I was like, what the hell is Choo Choo Charles?
Well, so it's a horror train. It's what is it? Charlie?
It's Thomas the Train.
Thomas the Train. Why did I think Charlie? I don't know.
Bruh?
Thomas the...
Because Choo Choo Charles.
Oh, that makes...
Not a coffee.
But it's based on Thomas the Train Engine.
Tank Engine.
Tank Engine? Fuck? It's Train Engine. No, it's...
What? It is Thomas the Tank.
Homie, he's a train. He's not a tank. What the fuck?
Thomas the Tank Engine. Because he's a tank engine. That's what he is. He's not not tank like barrel tank is what it is. Like a tank of coal.
Anyways,
Thomas the Tank Engine.
It's a horror game where basically it's like a spider train is after you.
Well, it was made after. It was made after those edits, those Thomas the Train edits.
Yeah,
it's made after that style. So there's this whole
it's scary,
creepy pasta meme stuff about Thomas the Train actually being like an eldritch beast, and it's like this creepy thing, like the whole Garfield ones.
I haven't seen the Garfield ones, and I do not want to see them.
I think it's Gorfield.
If you want to take,
but I think it started with the one image of Thomas crawling out of the train.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It started there.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's weird, but that's where Choo Choo Charles comes from. And Mark did a whole playthrough in 2 hours of it. He streamed Choo Choo Charles out of nowhere again, like he normally does. But it is a horror game, so I guess it's in character form.
I was excited for the release because I've been following it on TikTok forever.
Oh, I do want to quickly state this is an important one for incredible nerds, or really in-depth nerds.
This isn't my field, actually.
Really?
I don't really like I don't really like this thing that you're about to talk about in a couple seconds that I won't spoil, but you know.
Okay, well, so this is old news, but I do want to mention it because it's kind of interesting to me. Warhammer...
Is that 2023?
What? No, it's this year. It's 2022. It's old, not new.
Homie, that's like 11 days old.
Oh, really? It's only 11 days?
Yeah.
Okay, well, 2 weeks ago, Warhammer 40k Darktide came out, and it's like a first-person Warhammer 40k game. It's a first-person shooter.
That might gonna be sick.
Well, I know, but I'm thinking of Vermintide 2 is in relation to it. Vermintide 2 is originally Warhammer, and it's like a first-person, like just regular... It's like a hack and slash first person. You play with 4 people. You do little campaigns. It was really fun. It was like not much, and I played it with my friends from my old friends, and it was incredibly fun. So when Warhammer Darktide came out, I was like, oh wait, this is kind of like in that style, and so I'm kind of interested in that. So I just want to go ahead and say that for everyone else is that's another thing that's kind of on my radar. Warhammer 40k. Darktide, because it's first person shooter.
It's on PC Game Pass. That's fucked up.
Get ratioed. Ooh, it's on Game Pass on PC?
Oh no. It's a few weeks later. It releases on consoles.
Well, it's been 2 weeks, so give it another. But yeah, Warhammer 40k Darktide came out. Interesting. Want to see how it goes. Let's see. I think the reviews on Steam are 6 out of 10, but IGN says 8 out of 10. So another one.
I think that really covers it. We only had the 3, but
I think we should also mention that this is going to be the final. Just reiterate, this is going to be the final, not pre-recorded podcast. I don't know how we're gonna do. How do you do Twitch streams of videos? Can you do that?
What do you mean?
Twitch streams of pre-recorded videos. I think you can do that, right?
Oh, you take videos. Oh.
I think you can do that because I think
we already streamed them. That's the thing.
Oh, I guess we wouldn't stream them.
It's just we're not going to have content for the next couple of weeks on Twitch.
We're not going to have stream content for the next couple of weeks. We're not going to be streaming. We're going to be uploading to podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, that fun stuff, and we're also going to upload videos to YouTube of old stuff that we did, or that the Friday streams we've been doing have been pre-records. Right. I think we talked about that.
And after when we get back from break, we're going to go back to the Sunday schedule. It's just going to be Sundays.
But I like the 2-day schedule.
I mean, if we have time, 2 days is always up in the air. But I think Sundays is kind of our fallback of how we.
I agree with that.
Just because it's a safe, it makes it so that work is not too heavy on us.
Yeah.
We can focus on podcasts. We don't have to.
Actually, we really need to edit stuff.
I've already edited like 3 videos.
Today?
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
Homie, I was grinding.
Dude, I was in
posted on my Be Real. It was David's sick, but still on the grind.
I
That's
was
what my comment
in
was.
bed. I was laying in my bed till 4 p.m. Laying there. I wasn't even asleep.
Oh, yeah.
I was awake. Till 4 p.m.
I got up.
I got up at 9.
I got up at like 11. Had like my first couple hours morning kind of thing. Yeah, first couple hours, and went to work immediately, and didn't tell anyone. And Charlie, one of our close friends,
Say hi,
comes
Charlie.
to.
Hi guys.
He's in the room.
This
comes
is Ethan and
to,
Charlie's room.
Comes to my work, and it was just on my like shift thing. He's like, or on my break, and he was like, "Oh, Ethan, you're here?" And then it literally was the same thing reoccurring until like literally I got out at like 5:30.
I came up to you. I'm like, "Where the hell were you?"
Yeah, like,
you're like,
where
"I've been
were
here
you
all
all
day."
day? And I was like, dude, I've been working literally all day.
Because I went to find you to go eat with us, and then I went over, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, what's up?"
But it was funny. And so yeah, I think just to kind of finish off this stream for today.
That's about it.
Thank you guys seriously so much for watching. Like this has been 2 months in the making so far.
Yeah, I mean,
Or how
it's still
how
going
long
strong. We've been at school
3
for
months.
4 months, so 3 months.
We started in October, I think.
Yeah,
is when
it's
we
3
started
months.
streaming. And
August, September, October. Wait, no,
Yeah.
September, October, November, December.
my brain hurt.
It's 4
But,
months.
yeah.
So October's 3 months. Yeah. I
I
love
can't
it.
even. Hey,
Wait, October's 10th,
we're getting up to.
Yeah.
We're getting up to what's it?
2.5 months.
8th episode. This is going to be our 8th episode, and then we're going to have up to 11 or 12 to our break. Like, that's wild to me that we've gotten that much out.
That's crazy.
And
The fact that this all started because we went on a walk in,
yeah.
in the woods, and we were like, hey, why don't we do a podcast?
And it just blew up, and we've stayed committed, and it's, I mean, that
I
is
love
the kind of the, I think that's the kicker is, like, we have certain things, like David gets sick, or we're doing some type of review, and we just can't do it in certain rooms, and blah, 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 but the key thing is trying to keep that consistency, because...
If we stop, we're going to stop, and that's a problem.
Right.
We can't.
And
do
we've taken a couple, like, we take breaks, but it's always letting you guys know that, hey,
There's a
stream's not
reason.
coming out this week. There's some type of issue that's going on.
Yeah, like you
or
being
we
sick,
didn't get a podcast out because we lost the recording or something.
that. Fourth episode.
I hate that. Was such a good episode too.
I really enjoyed that one.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, and I want to thank anyone who's still here. 10 hour and 13 minutes. It's 10:45. Thank you for staying strong, and thank you for anyone who's listening. And
I'm gonna keep
still
waving until you
We're
start
done.
saying bye.
We're done. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.